The movie opens with a man saying how the gods, Meenakshi and Sundarshwar, and famous Indian actor Rajinikanth, saved his marriage from failure. It all started with a mistake between two families. Sundarshwar is a young man who recently graduated in engineering and is unemployed and unwilling to work in his family business. Sudar has a dream of coding and working for a big IT company, but his father thinks he's useless and should just work in the family business like everyone else. He has been searching for an internship for a long time, but it never seems to work out for him. He's also at the age of marriage, so his family makes an appointment for him to meet one of his bride prospects. At the appointment, he meets the beautiful Meenakshi. She's the opposite of Sundar. While Sundar is quiet, shy, and clumsy, Meena is full of life and outspoken. She isn't afraid of speaking her mind and taking what she wants. She interviews Sundar to get to know him better and to see if they are a good fit for marriage. At first, they are awkward and silent. Meena thinks Sundar is cute in a boyish way, and Sundar is a bit intimidated by Meena. He's never met a girl like her, and it makes him bashful. Meena proposes a game of questions, and when Sundar says that he doesn't know what to ask her, she replies that she loves to make nervous people more nervous. She also asks him to give her his nice blue jacket. Sundar is confused by her request, but does as she says. In the interview, Meena learns that Sundar is shy, but he knows exactly what he wants in life. He wants to follow his dream of working for a company, and he doesn't want to accept the easy way, which is working in his family's sorry business. Sundar explains that his father still gives him money, and that he has 6 months to find a job, otherwise he'll work for him. Sundar is obstinate, stubborn, and ambitious. At the same time, he's funny, cute, and honest. The only negative for Meena is that he doesn't like watching movies or reading books, and he doesn't care for Rajinikanth. As for Sundar, he learns that Meena is reliable, open, and fearless. She also graduated from accounting, and wants to work in a small firm where she can make a big difference. She's obsessed with Rajinikanth, and loves reading all kinds of books. She's fun and easy to talk to. The only thing they have in common is the way they view relationships. They want a relationship that is easy to take care of, and where they don't have to be insecure or worry too much. They compare it to a cactus, a plant that is more independent than most plants. Despite their differences, Meena and Sundar are enchanted by each other. While Sundar and Meena are getting to know each other, their families find out that there was a mistake in the appointment, and Sundar's family is at the wrong house. They are called back, and the situation is explained. Meena's real suitor appears, and Sundar's family decides to leave. Before they go, Sundar and Meena share infatuated glances, and Meena's grandfather notices. He decides that the mistake Sundar's family committed was fate. The gods bless their union, and it's obvious they like each other. With that being said, their families decide to move on with the wedding, and soon Sundar and Meena are getting ready for their big day. It's a beautiful ceremony, with a lot of happiness and celebration. Meena and Sundar can't take their eyes off each other. Sundar watches Meena dancing, and wishes he dared to approach her and dance with her. He's too shy and insecure to do what he wants to. Meena is so happy she can't stop smiling, and she gets emotional because she found a person that matches her, despite their differences. They finally get married and go home for their nuptials. It's their first time being intimate with another person, so they are both eager and nervous. Before they can even kiss, Sundar receives a message from a job he applied for, saying that he has a job interview the following day. He's so excited and anxious that he forgets his wedding night, and tells Meena he has to prepare for the interview. She's sad that he prefers to spend time studying for an interview instead of being with her for their first night, but Meena's understanding and supportive. She knows about his dream. It's one of the things that made her like him so much. For that reason, she puts on a smile and tells him to do what he needs to. Sundar spends the whole night preparing for the interview while Meena sleeps. Once again, Sundar imagines what it would be like to lie down next to her and wake her up with kisses. Instead of doing that, he goes to sleep. The following morning, Meena wakes up happy and excited about her new life. She doesn't hold a grudge for Sundar's lack of attention the night before, and looks forward to connecting with his big family. While Sundar's getting ready for the day, she pretends to be dancing with him and being kissed by him for the first time. Sundar's interview doesn't go well. There are too many people competing, and his mind keeps wandering toward Meena. When he's being interviewed, he imagines it's Meena talking to him, and ends up smiling too freely to the interviewer. When he goes back home, he's feeling down in the dumps about another failure. Meena tries to comfort him, and says that she found a letter from another company in the trash, addressed to him. Instead of giving her attention and talking about her first day with his family, Sundar opens the letter and finds out he got an internship at a big company. This time, though, it's in another city. He gets excited by the prospect of getting a job at this company, but he quickly has to get ready for his trip. It's for the next day. Meena is already feeling let down, and Sundar decides to give her some attention before he goes. They kiss for the first time, and it's romantic and sweet. For Meena, she wants to continue kissing and finally be intimate. But before things move forward, Sundar's father asks for his help to fix a broken pipe. The following morning, Sundar leaves for his interview. While they are at the train station, Meena expects Sundar to kiss and hug her goodbye, but he's too shy for that. He enters the train with a regretful expression. Meena follows the train and finds his window. They gaze at each other with love-filled eyes, until his family shows up and interrupts their moment. Sundar arrives late at the job, and his new boss notices him. What Sundar has no idea is that before he entered the room, his boss was talking about how he only chooses single people to work at his company because of productivity. When Sundar explains that he arrived late because he has recently gotten married, his boss laughs and thinks he's joking. Soon enough, Sundar realizes his mistake. The boss expresses again that he only wants single people working for him, and Sundar quickly removes his wedding ring. The job is too important for him to lose because of his marriage. He knows that if he talked to Meena, she would understand. Long term, the job will be good for both of them because he will be paid well. The internship is for a year, and only the best interns will be offered a permanent position in the company. Sundar is set on giving his best, now that he has the opportunity after trying so hard. He is going to show his family that he can make them proud without working at the family business. He moves into the company's dormitories, which he's going to share with 3 other men. The men are very different from Sundar. They drink a lot, party, and smoke, things that Sundar never thought of doing before. Back at Sundar's family house, Meena is having a good time with his family. Her family isn't big, she's an only child, so she doesn't know what it's like to have a full house. Sundar's family is very welcoming to her, and she becomes friends with his sister. They go out to eat in a local restaurant, and there Meena meets her ex, Anathan. They didn't have a long relationship, it never even got physical. Meena ghosted Anathan when she realized he wasn't what she was looking for, mainly when he decided to give up his dreams of being an artisan and taking over his family business. Meena's sister-in-law leaves them alone after some time, and Anathan starts flirting with Meena. She never flirts back and firmly tells him she's married now. Anathan invites her to the movies, and she declines it. Then he asks her to play her favorite scene in Rajinikanth's movie, and she excitedly does. The one thing they have in common is their shared love for Rajinikanth, but that's all. Seeing Anathan only makes Meena realize that she made the right choice in rejecting him and marrying Sundar. She knows that Sundar is never going to give up his dreams, and that is his greatest virtue, in her opinion. Later that day, Meena tries calling Sundar, but he's with his roommates and doesn't answer her call. He's afraid his roommates are going to find out he's married and tell his boss. Meena's sad that she can't talk to him. She misses him already, and she wants to know when she will be able to visit him. The next day, it's Sundar's official first day. His boss tells the interns that they are going to have the opportunity to make an app and show it to him. The top 5 apps are going to receive funding, and the creators are going to be hired in the company for a 6-figure salary. It's all Sundar ever wanted, and he already can imagine his life with Meena if he made that much money. He's looking forward to trying his best to make the best app his boss has ever seen. Meena tries calling Sundar again, and this time he answers. She excitedly tells him that she booked a train to go see him, but he tells her to cancel it. He explains the situation in the company, that they can't know he's married. For that reason, they won't be able to visit each other during his entire internship. Meena's devastated by the news, but she promised him she was going to be supportive, and she is. Sundar promises her they are going to make it work, and Meena agrees. Sundar feels bad for leaving her for so long, right after they got married. To make up for his mistakes, he researches how to make his wife happy and starts sending her cute messages and videos. They get to know each other better through social media, talking every day and filming their lives away from each other. When Sundar's family asks why Meena isn't visiting him, she comes up with excuses to cover for Sundar. Her life with his family is alright, but she feels lonely sometimes and misses home. Talking to Sundar through the internet is better than nothing, but it isn't enough. With not much to occupy herself, Meena decides to look for a job in a small firm. She's excited and happy when she gets the job, and she's looking forward to telling Sundar the good news. Sadly for her, when she gets home and tells her in-laws that she has a job, her father-in-law congratulates her, but says she can't work away from home. He needs her to teach his grandson math because his tutor quit. Meena tries to tell him she can't, but he's insistent and ignores her wishes. Without any support, Meena feels even more lonely. She doesn't even get to tell Sundar that she found a job, and she doesn't want to unnecessarily bother him with her issues. Instead, she goes to their room with a pint of ice cream and eats her sorrows away. Her sister-in-law sees her sad and tries to cheer her up by asking what her plans are for Sundar's birthday. Meena didn't even know it was his birthday, and she's unsure if he would be happy if she appeared in his dormitory without any notice. Her sister-in-law insists she does something romantic for him, and Meena decides to surprise him. She remembers one of his messages, where he told her that he felt sad and lonely without her. What she doesn't know is that Sundar is having fun and doing things he never thought he would, like drinking and partying. When she arrives at his dormitory with his favorite cake, she sees him dancing with a girl and having a lot of fun. People around him are drunk and dancing, without a care in the world. Meena is rightfully upset. While she's trying to be supportive of him and leaving her dreams aside to help his family, he's partying and having the time of his life without her. To make things worse, Sundar can't tell anyone she's his wife. Instead, he tells people she's his cousin. Meena refuses to accept Sundar's apologies later on. He lied to her for no reason. She wouldn't be upset if he told her he was having fun. That isn't necessarily the issue. The main problem for her is that he lied to her about feeling sad and lonely, and she fell for it because she was feeling the same. It makes her sad that he didn't trust her enough to be open, especially after she's been so supportive of him. Bitterly, she informs him that his father came with her, and somehow his 10-year-old nephew appears at the party and drinks. Sundar quickly has to grab his nephew and take him to the house they are staying at, before his father figures out there's something wrong. Sundar and Meena don't talk to each other the whole way. She doesn't try to help him hide his nephew, nor does she cover for him again. Sundar tries to apologize, but she gives him the silent treatment. The following day, they go to his company, because his father wants to know where he's working. Meena lies to Sundar and says that she couldn't stop his father. His father starts going all around the company, while Sundar goes looking for him before he meets his boss. They end up in the same elevator, though Sundar doesn't see his father. His boss is also there, and he compliments Sundar for his great work, which makes his father proud of him. For the first time ever, his father realizes Sundar is smart, and doesn't need his help to succeed in life. Fortunately for Sundar, his father doesn't say or do anything to embarrass him. When they are at the train station to go back home, his father tells Sundar that it was Meena's idea to go visit him at his company. It's the opposite of what Meena told him, and Sundar realizes she led his father there on purpose, to make Sundar sweat a little after he lied to her. It works out in his favor because his father tells him he's proud of his accomplishments, something that makes Sundar immensely happy. For that reason, he forgives Meena for her deceit. Meena gives him the cold shoulder when they are leaving, and their goodbye is cold and stiff. Sundar goes after her on the train, but she ignores him when he extends his hand to her. On her way back, Meena has time to think about her marriage and Sundar. She feels betrayed by him, and she starts feeling insecure about her place in his life. It's not the relationship she wanted for herself, one that was easy and not complicated. When she's back home, she calls Sundar. He explains that the only reason he lied to her is that he heard advice from his roommate about lying about his feelings to his girlfriend. Meena calls him stupid, because she would never care for something so petty as him being happy without her. They don't make amends after their first fight, and Sundar gets drunk because he's feeling guilty and miserable. He sends her an apology video, but Meena refuses to watch it. The only upside to their situation is that Sundar has an idea for an app. Days go by, and Meena still refuses to talk to Sundar. Her life, which was bright and filled with happiness before, is opaque and uneventful. She teaches Sundar's nephew, goes to the movies, and eats out with Anathan. Whenever Sundar tries calling her, she ignores his calls. One day, Anathan notices she's glum and sad. Meena explains that her relationship as a newlywed is nothing as she imagined it to be. Surprisingly, Anathan gives her sound advice about being patient with Sundar, and that she should tell him her feelings. It gives Meena food for thought, and after thinking carefully, she decides to call him. She tells him that she thinks she should move into the town he's in, to be closer to him. Meena's hoping that Sundar will finally see that the long-distance relationship isn't working for them anymore. But Sundar is afraid that if she is there, his family will always visit them, and it would hinder his work. He isn't willing to risk it, after months of working hard to get his place at the company. What Sundar doesn't understand is that he's only thinking about himself, and erasing Meena from the situation. Her feelings aren't taken into account, only his. She was supportive the whole time, and he repaid her by lying to her face. Feeling alone and isolated, with no one to support her, Meena is almost at her wit's end. To make matters worse, Anathan goes to Sundar's family's store to buy a sari as a gift for Meena. He asks her to work for him at his family's tea company, because alone he's a failure. Meena accepts the job, seeing it as a way to occupy her mind and do something for herself for a change. Anathan wants a specific fabric, but there's only a piece left. It's a tea green colored sari that he knows will look great on Meena. The problem is that Sundar's aunt wants the same fabric, and she argues with him. Anathan refuses to give it to her, and even insults her, saying that her skin tone isn't appropriate for the color. In the end, he buys it, despite Sundar's aunt being mad about it. Later on, they are going to a festival, and Meena wears the sari Anathan gave to her. Sundar's aunt and his father recognize it and question her about it. She explains that her friend gave it to her as a gift. They get suspicious of their relationship, thinking it's strange that another man is giving her gifts when she barely visits Sundar. They have no idea that Sundar has been lying this whole time, and Meena has been covering for him. When she's insulted by Sundar's aunt, Meena blows up at them. She has finally had enough of Sundar and his over-the-top family. His aunt and father have no right to judge her when she tried her best to make her marriage work with Sundar. She fell for him, and she was willing to do anything to make him happy. The only things she got back were his lies and his family's insults. Meena argues with Sundar's family and goes to her room to cry. Sundar calls her to ask what happened, thinking it's Meena's fault that his family is offended, and that makes Meena angrier. She expected him to support her at least a little, but he doesn't even wait to hear her explanation before judging her. Meena angrily tells him that she's done with him and his family. She hangs up on him and decides to leave for good. She returns to her family's house, sad and miserable. Sundar keeps trying to talk to her, but she never answers. Meena tries to move on with her life. She starts working with Anathan, but she still feels sad about the way things ended with Sundar. She's too hurt to call him to try and solve things. Sundar also gets sad and miserable, without Meena to make his days happy and bright. He soon realizes that Mina's presence made things easier for him, and not having her to support him is hard. Days go by. Mina and Ananthan start getting closer. One day he even tries to kiss her, but she refuses to betray Sundar like that. Her grandfather gives her advice after she tells him that she tried everything in her power to make things work with Sundar, but it wasn't mutual. Her grandfather tells her that not everything is easy, especially not relationships, and that she should try again. Mina hears her grandfather and decides to open Sundar's video, the one he sent after their first fight. In the video, he profusely apologizes and says that he will try to do better by her. He asks her to not give up on him, or their marriage. It's cute and sweet, the way Sundar used to be when she met him. It makes Mina emotional, and her heart starts beating faster for him again. She calls him, but he's in the bathroom and can't answer. One of his roommates hears his cell phone ringing and goes to check it out. He sees a message Mina sent Sundar, and finds out he's married. This roommate is jealous of Sundar's relationship with their boss, and decides to outsmart him. He replies to Mina, inviting her to meet him at the company's coffee shop to talk the following day. Then he erases the message, so Sundar doesn't know Mina is coming. The next day, it's Sundar's app presentation. He's nervous and anxious about it going well. After months of working hard, and having a lot of issues with his relationship, he wants it to be worth it. Before his presentation, he receives a message from Mina telling him she's waiting for him at the coffee shop. He's confused and angry because he had no idea she would be coming, and it's an important day for him. He quickly goes after her at the coffee shop to question her. Mina is waiting for him with a hopeful smile on her face. She doesn't know it's the day of his presentation either, and she went because he supposedly invited her. Neither know they have been played by Sundar's jealous roommate. Right off the bat, Sundar questions what Mina is doing there, not even taking the time to greet her properly. It's Mina's turn to be confused, and she tells him that he invited her. Sundar tells her she's lying, so Mina shows him the message. Sundar is so angry and frustrated that he starts arguing with her in the middle of the coffee shop. His boss shows up and finds out Sundar had been lying to him about his marital status. He tells Sundar that he should do the presentation as a formality, then he can leave. Sundar yells at Mina, blaming her for his fallout, and angrily leaves her there. Mina tries talking to him, but he tells her there's nothing to talk about anymore. Hearing him say this breaks Mina's heart. She can't say she didn't try. Now, it's time to think about herself and her own happiness. When Sundar returns to the building, he accidentally overhears his boss talking to his roommate about the proof Sundar is married. He finds out it was all a setup to make him fail at the internship, all because his roommate was jealous. He gets desperate when he realizes he wrongly blamed Mina, who is also a victim in the situation. When it's time for his presentation, Sundar's app is great. He created an app that sends the user the other person's humor for the day, and he got the inspiration for it from Mina. He never knew how she was feeling, and he kept making mistakes because of that. Sundar gets emotional when he talks about her, remembering their time together and how patient she was with him. He messed it up by being selfish and thinking only about himself. If he had been honest from the beginning, he wouldn't have lost his job and his wife. Sundar returns home and finds out that Mina hasn't lived there for a while. He goes after her in her family home, but she isn't there, and they don't know where she's at. He starts going everywhere he knows she liked to go, but he never finds her. One day, he finds out there's a new Rajinikanth movie at the cinema, and he quickly goes there looking for Mina. The place is filled with people, and it's hard for him to find her. When he finally does, he watches her from afar, dancing and having fun, just the way she did at their wedding. It makes him happy that he didn't ruin everything for her, and he wants to take advantage that she's in such high spirits, to beg for her forgiveness. When Mina notices him, she takes a moment to think about what she's going to do. She remembers the bad moments she had without him, but she also remembers the good ones. She's not the kind of person to run from her problems, so she decides to face Sundar right on. In the middle of Rajinikanth's movie, Sundar apologizes to her. Mina kisses him in the middle of his apology and forgives him. Now that Sundar is finally there with her, she knows they can work things out and have a good marriage together. They had their mishaps on the way, but the journey of their life has just begun. They have all the time in the world to get to know each other better and build a great life together. And it is all thanks to the God's blessing and Rajinikanth's new movie.